Sorry for the delay. I couldn't find my webcam because I did some rearranging today and I couldn't properly look for it because my flashlight has gone dead and it's solar powered and there wasn't enough sun to charge the flashlight. Hello, Jason, welcome in. Welcome to another live stream from beautiful, shivering, cold downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California's Inland Empire. I'm expecting Freeman and possibly Witta. Lord. As you know, but maybe some people tuning in don't know, my gas wall heater went boom night before last. Well, I'm glad you have work, Jason. I just hope it isn't, too hard on you physically and mentally. At 1:00 in the morning, it was, like 1 hour after New Year's Eve ended at midnight. The heater went boom and shut off. And so I knew that it would be dangerous to try to reheat it or relight it, restart it. So I turned off the pilot light and set the thermostat to 0. This morning, the repairman came. He showed me that there were holes in the, I think they call it a firebox. And you can't fix that. I'm not going to risk my life. I have 2 little heater fans going, pointed at here, pointing at the screen instead of the camera again, at angles, about 45-degree angles, so the 2 streams of heat come together and then branch out again. They are not sufficient, and the electricity is going to cost me a bit. Oh well. Meanwhile, I'm getting a $500 discount and it's still $1,800 for the heater, installed, of course. Oh man, I can pay for it, but that leaves me no cushion, and I'll be struggling to pay the month-to-month bills, but I can do it. Yeah, water heaters are even more ridiculous. Fortunately, knock on wood, here we go. Knock on wood, my water heater works so far. Whew. Anyway, I got a new outfit For Christmas, it's a sweatshirt and sweatpants. They're coming in handy, but I'm still not exactly warm. Even sitting on the heating pad on Great Granny's rocking chair, which is mine, Tora. It's not for cats, it's mine. Let's see. Oh, Tora's heating pad is on too high a heat. Come on. Let's fix that. And let's fix mine. It's too hot too. Yep. Oh, Converse, yeah. New shoes are important. Well, I have ankle high snow boots lined with, imitation. Well, I knew the word a second ago. Fleece. It's not lamb's wool, it's like nylon or something. But at least my feet are fairly warm. Anyway, the repair guy showed me the holes in the heater and explained, what was wrong and what he's going to do so to set the new one so it won't do that, at least in theory, knock on wood. Uh, this is my house heater that blew up. I can always boil water on the stove. I can't boil the house. In fact, during Snowmageddon, March of 2023, the snow actually blocked the vent to my water heater, so the water heater shut off, and I was boiling water on the stove, but also taking water from the hot tap, even though it was cold water, so the water heater would not turn into a block of ice. You don't want the water in your water heater to freeze. It'll expand and break your water heater. Tora, you're in the dark. I don't think I can get your picture. Let's see. Yeah. You look like a black cat. Oh, well. She's a gray stripey. Well, I came on because Witta and Freeman, especially Freeman, was anxious for me to do a show tonight. Where are they? Oh, Tora quit it. What makes you think you deserve treats? Say hi. There, I got some light on her face. Oh, kitty kisses, squinting. Such a good girl. All right, okay. I'm running out of cat treats, but I should get a delivery of cat treats tomorrow. Well, if you want them, you gotta be someplace where I can put them down. I can't put treats down in midair. Okay, Smoky Sue and Tutu. Ah, I am so, I don't know what, anxious, I guess. Hi, at Sequentia. Welcome in. Wow, that's interesting. At Sequentia, running the hot water pipes through a container of sand, and the sand stays warm for months. Maybe I should cover my floor in foot deep sand and run the hot water pipes through it. Wow. In the summertime, my water heater barely needs to work because the water that comes into the water heater goes in pipes across the roof, just under the roof, between the roof and the ceiling, and the sunlight heats up the water. In the winter, however, not so warm. I remember Phil telling me once that he had a house where all the water pipes were in the concrete slab. Instead of a foundation. I know in California, I don't know about other places, but in California, they were building houses fast and cheap, and they just lay a slab of concrete. They still do that and build a house on top of it. But this house had the water running through pipes embedded in the concrete. I think it was just the hot water. I'm not sure. But of course, a pipe broke, and he had to have a crew come out and use a jackhammer to get the. Tor is a sweetie, but so is Sweetie. Sweetie's even prettier. She's a black and white tuxedo. Tutu and 3C are gray and white tuxedos, but they look like they only got one arm in the sleeve of the coat or the jacket. Uh, oh, wow. Anyway, it is cold. It's about 40, maybe 45 degrees right now, but it'll go down to the mid 30s, maybe even low 30s tonight. Let's see what my phone predicts. It's more reliable than the computer. It says it's going to go down to 40. And it'll stay around 45 until noon. Yee! We're supposed to be in a warming trend. Charger, the phone wants it, and I had it on the 59. Yeah, Phoenix would be a bit warmer than Crestline. Remember, I'm on a mountain. The ashtray is smoking my cigarette again. So anyway, every morning I put a big pot of water on the stove to simmer to warm up the kitchen. I've shut off the bedroom because I don't use it anyway, just for storage. But man, tonight's going to be a cold one again. I've found, though, if I roll over onto my side instead of sleeping on my back, I feel a lot warmer. But then I wake up with my arm aching. Oh well, it isn't too bad. Anyway, the heater will be fixed, and the reason I can pay for it is that I already took out a loan to buy a washing machine. So the washing machine will have to wait. And this is costing much more than I was planning to spend on a washing machine. You see, even though I have a good credit rating, I don't have enough money to get a loan from a bank. But my credit union once a year offers a loan to members in good standing, and they choose the amount they're going to lend you. So even though I was thinking a used washer, maybe 500 or 600, but the money from the loan is 2,000. So after I pay for the new heater, I'll have $200. Not too bad. Well, you have to be in good standing, like you don't bounce checks and you make your payments. And I have a darn good credit rating, so I get a pretty low interest rate. Much lower than a credit card, that's for sure. Oh, Etsy Quentia needs warm feet. Yeah, that's the worst thing. With this cold, I have to keep my fleece-lined snow boots on, or my feet turn to ice and I can't sleep. Welcome in, Sandra. We've got Jason, who goes by Ren, and we've got Etsy Quentia. Yeah, you know that saying, cold feet, warm heart? Don't believe it. You want warm feet. Oh, I was trying to see whether that was a yes or a yay. The letters are kind of blurry on my screen. Well, anyway, I was going to start getting those stray cats spayed and neutered. I think what I'll do is get the male, the tomcat, neutered. It's males are cheaper, and he's the one getting them pregnant, and the last thing you want with stray cats is stray kittens. They're cuter than all get out, but they're not pets. The tomcat and one of the females have learned to come to me when I bring out some kibble for them to eat. The others run away. So I've got to do something before we've got 50 cats roaming the neighborhood. And the male is actually quite tame. I've even picked him up a couple times. So I think I can get him into a carrying cage and haul him to the vet. I just have to get a carrying cage. Yeah. Well, if I don't put some kibble outside for them, two of them will actually come into the house looking for food. And even if I keep the door shut, the minute I want to go in or out, one of them will sneak in between my feet. Tara, don't pokey paws me. That hurts. She doesn't sit on me, she stands on me and walks on me. Yeah, you walk all over me. Tired of you walking all over me. Oh, that ain't it. What does my phone want? I think to be quiet. Eventually, sometime this month, I'll get to visit my son again. Today, he had a scary diagnostic test for his heart disease. I hope that all went well. He had to get an MRI, but to do it, they had to turn off his pacemaker with an expert standing by in case something went wrong. Well, that's a possibility at Sequentia. Those cats could be Navy SEALs sneaking in. Hi, what's next? Welcome in. Mm. Whoa. The ashtray smoked my cigarette. I hardly got anything. So I'm going to light another one. But I am kind of rationing the cigarettes to save money. Just not while I'm online fidgeting and nattering, jabbering, talking about this, that, and nothing at all. Uh, Oh, on the plus side, I had to remove a bunch of clutter. Oh, welcome in, IB. Good to see you. Um, I had to remove a bunch of clutter to make sure the repairman could get to the heater to either fix it or replace it. So I have a lot more open space in my living room. And when I went through the clutter, I discovered things I could actually toss out and get rid of. The food bank gave me a can of, that green stuff. Okay, I'm gonna, not chard, not spinach. You know, the stuff they make in the South, usually with turkey, and they boil it forever. Let me see if I can find the can. I don't know why I'm blank on what it's called. All right, let's see. Um, oh, come on. find it. A green leafy vegetable. Well, anyway, I've never had those. Fortunately, a friend who's actually from the South told me what to do with it. You know, that stuff that Kamala washed in the bathtub? Maybe Google will tell me. Collard greens, thank you. What's next? Yeah. Now, my friend who is from the South says, well, she doesn't like the canned ones. She got some from the food bank too. But if you boil a turnip for like forever till it's nice and soft, and then add the canned collard greens, it's pretty good. And she adds bacon. And she loves the fresh collard greens. Says the canned ones aren't all that great. But I'm going to try it as soon as I find it. But first I have to buy a turnip. I'm trying to remember whether turnips are the round ones or the ones that look like carrots. I think they're a round one. Turnip. It's a root vegetable in any case. Oh, come on. Where's the button? Yeah, they're round. Oh, and the big ones are called something else. Rutabaga. But turnips are little ones. Here we go. Turnip. I could get a little turnip and boil it forever. And then add the collard greens. Now, rutabaga is basically the same thing, but it's bigger. Yeah, that's right. The ones that look like yellow carrots or parsnips. I've never eaten those either, but I intend to try them. Boy, Sandra and What's Next know a lot about these foods. And what's next? You roll your own smokes with pipe tobacco. Yeah, I have cigarette tubes with filters and a little machine to fill them, and I still can't get it right. So, I'm better off to just cut down on the cigarettes I buy. Oh, bugler, Jason, ew, ew. When I was teaching English in a prison, that was before they banned smoking in prisons. Uh, the inmates would buy bugler from the commissary, and of course papers. And since no one told me not to, I would give them one of my cigarettes during the break. Learned much later that that was a big no-no. I don't know what's with the tobacco. I tried pipe tobacco, and then I tried really expensive gosh, American Spirit tobacco. I ended up giving the good tobacco to a guy who rolled his own and was able to do it. Oh well. If I can get some really nice tobacco, um, I might try it again, but I'd have to have an incentive like really good tobacco. It's nearly impossible to find it anymore. All the smoke shops have Bugler, American Spirit, and pipe tobacco. Ooh, Farmer's Gold sounds like a great name for a good tobacco. Oh, gosh. Mm. Well, anyway, let's not let the ashtray smoke it this time. I have so much work to do and so little motivation. I think once the heater is restored, replaced, I'll feel more like cleaning up the kitchen and the bathroom. It's way past time to mop the floors and clean the countertops and stuff like that. Oh boy. The cold makes me more tired than I ought to be. Oh well, we can't get menthol tobacco here in California. What's next? But we can get these little menthol soaked pads that you put into the tobacco and let it sit for a while so the menthol gets into the tobacco. You know, menthol cigarettes that are already put together for you, the menthol's actually in the filter, not the tobacco. Oh, oh boy. Well, anyway. Uh-huh. Well, I have a, of course, it was a couple years ago, I bought a $90 rolling machine. And I just can't get it right. Either the tobacco's too loose and it falls out of the tube, or there's too much and I can't get it into the tube, and I haven't found the happy medium where it fills the tube and doesn't get stuck in the machine. I'll give it a try if I can find some tobacco that I really like. Oh boy. Oh Lord. We're in a drought in Southern California, but Northern California is having record rain and snow and flooding. And the waves on the ocean are awesome. I heard on the news that people were surfing, and I forget which beach it was, but it was up north of Los Angeles somewhere. One of them caught 100-foot wave. That's unheard of in California. You expect it in Hawaii, but 100-foot wave is highly unusual here. But we aren't getting a whole lot of strong wind. It has been windy, but not the really strong ones. But it's a cold wind, making the cold even colder. Oh, I'm at least 70 miles from the beach at Sequentia. I just see the ocean on the news. And I can't go to the beach in Southern California. I burn like crazy. I burn and peel and I never tan. But up north, you go north of San Francisco to some place like Sonoma or Fort Bragg, I can go to the beach all day. The sun isn't as direct. Oh, Inventive Goldfish says the East Coast is dry too, but his area is only abnormally dry. Well, technically, we won't be in a drought till next week. And we're not expected to get any rain. No, my heater is not fixed. The new heater is being delivered in the morning. It had holes in the box. I think they call it a heat box. The guy showed me, and you can't fix that. Besides, it was 20 years old. It's not a forced air. It just sits in the wall and radiates heat. In some ways, it's much simpler than forced air, and this is a very tiny house. But, it served me well for 20 years, but when I bought it in 04, it was somewhere between $300 and $400. Now it's $1,800. Like everything else under this crazy inflation. I bought eggs last week, a dozen of the cheapest brand they had, $8. Oh, and apparently I called the heating expert just in time. The heater he's getting me is the last one in the warehouse. Yes, IB, it's. I don't remember which one you are. Are you Zach or the other guy? Just do not remember. I'm old. I'm 70 years old. I'm entitled to forget things. Well, I don't know. My whole house is 400 square feet, and it would feel tinier if I had a family, but it's just me and the cats, so it's okay. Ivy, I know you told me once who you are, but like I said, I don't remember. But I'd appreciate you telling me offline. By the way, the email that I give to everybody, and I've been very lucky so far, I don't get spammed much, and I don't get any really mean people emailing me. I just gotta make sure I don't have typos in it. Yeah, I have a typo. Kitties, cats. I started that email originally because my cats were emailing my friends' cats. But it's been so many years that all of those cats are in kitty heaven. Anyway, whatever. There's my email. It's also my PayPal address. And I do use it mostly to order things from Chewy for the cats. Because it's getting harder and harder for me to carry things. Even though I get a ride to the grocery store and help with the groceries, just bringing everything into the house and putting it away sometimes kills me. Right now, my back is pretty good. I moved a ton of boxes, mostly to outside. They'll go into the shed when I'm up to picking them up and putting them in the shed, but my back didn't kill me too much. I just have to be careful not to lift heavy things and to make sure I use my legs, bend my knees to pick up something heavy. So I'm using my legs to lift it up and not my arms to protect my poor back. I think it's improving. Not just because I'm more careful. Oh, hiccups, sorry. Not just because I'm more careful, but because I'm paying more attention to my diet and supplements. Gotta, give my body something to help it heal. Oh wow, what's next just pays a couple dollars for a dozen eggs in Virginia. I think Aldi is putting up some stores in Southern California, but I haven't seen one anywhere near me. I don't know what Little is. Yeah, I've seen videos and read about Japanese houses. When they get up in the morning, they roll up their beds because it's time to sit at the table in the same room. Oh, Little is basically the same as Aldi? Okay. Basically, in this area, we have Stater Brothers. It is a corporation, but it is not, as far as I know, it is not owned by another corporation. And we have our local Goodwins, run by a local family since before I was born. Yeah, my neck is so stiff in this cold weather at Sequentia. Quitta, welcome in. You're late. Your son has been here. Anyway, I have a neck thing. You're supposed to put the little beanbag in the microwave to make it hot or warm against your neck, but I don't bother. I just wrap my neck up in it and it keeps my neck warmer. I hate the microwave. I don't know. The chill drives me to dive under the blankets, but it doesn't help keep me warm. And the problem with my electric blanket is I can't find the power cord. And even if I did, I don't seem to have an outlet to plug it into. And I hate the way they design the blankets now so that you can't reach the control without getting out from under the blanket because it's way down by your feet. Yeah, it's on it like you can pull it 2 feet from your feet, so maybe up to your knees. Oh, 56. Yeah, 56 is warm here in Crestline. That's a daytime high. But this is not the coldest part of winter, but I'm fearful that we might get another snowmageddon like we did in March of 2023 because we have another La Nina bringing or promising to bring big winter storms. That that one in 2023 was a 100-year storm, so we're not supposed to get one until 100 years later. Hey, what are you cats doing? Knock it off. I don't know which cat that was, but she was under the rocking chair and attacking my feet. Oh, yeah. So Maine costs more than Virginia. That figures. Way up north where it gets colder in the winter, it costs more to heat your house when you're freezing cold. You know, we tried to recall Governor Newsom here in California. Gruesome Newsom. I don't know why it failed. Nobody likes our governor. They just the state House and Senate just passed a new bill to increase all our taxes, especially payroll taxes and state income tax. And the governor signed it. He encouraged them to write that bill because they lost, I think it was, they had some awful number, something like $24 billion that they had was supposed to be spent housing the homeless. They did not house, with that program, they did not house one single person, and the money's all gone and they can't account for it. So their solution is to increase taxes on working people and their employers. Yeah, Larry Elder might have been good. Or even Steve Garvey, the baseball player. I've got it right now. Garvey was on playing first base for the Dodgers when the Dodgers were just the winningest team. I think it was late 70s, from like 79 to early 80s. They had three Steves on the team: Steve Garvey, Steve Sachs, and Steve Yeager. That's what I hear about Maine. Beautiful, but cold and expensive. Maine is practically in Canada. I really don't think, by the way, that Canada will become our 51st state. But they might enter an economic and trade alliance that would benefit both the US and Canada. Maine is Stephen King's favorite state. Yeah, I think that's where he set that story about the fog. Where the ghosts of the pirates were getting revenge. Ah. I kind of like Colorado. You know, Denver, the mile high city, it's really about the same elevation as where I am. So I don't notice the thin air and all that, the altitude. But it's flat. It's so flat I get dizzy, and yet there's something about it, the geography and the climate. But I think their state government really isn't any better than California. Yeah, the cost of living in California plus taxes is just outrageous. I imagine Florida is expensive because um, they expect everyone there to be rich. Now, I don't know how the Canadian people feel, but their leadership is, their political leaders are like, hell no. Yeah. Oh, hi, Angus. Welcome in. Yeah, licenses and fees. In California, you have to go to school and get a certificate and get a license, which has to be renewed every year, to cut hair, to give people haircuts. Same with manicures, you know, doing people's fingernails. It's ridiculous. I've been on for 55 minutes. Is that a 5 or a 6? Yeah, it's a 5. I spent a great deal of time today trying to clean up my email because, you know, Gmail has a limit on how much you can store. So I deleted over 1,000 old emails, and the little counter that tells you how much you're using barely ticked down a few tenths. No, I think it's a few hundredths of a gig. Then I received about a dozen emails, and it went up a whole gig. What's up with that? All the rich people in California are leaving. They've had it. Problem is, they leave their mansions vacant and squatters move in. At least they're cracking down on retail theft, especially the gangs that go in groups and just grab everything in the store and leave. It's finally a felony. Well, what's next? I don't really know about other states, but part of it is the cost of renewing your permit every year and getting continuing education and taking exams. You'd think they were accountants or lawyers. $105 a year to renew a haircutting license in Florida. Wow, Wita, that's a lot. They don't make that much money. Sequentia is scared to go cleaning email inboxes. Well, my email goes all the way back to 2008. I think I can do without some of those. And a lot of them are things that I should have been deleting along the way. Like stinking Facebook, every time someone comments on my post, they send me an email. If I want to know about comments, I'll just log into Facebook. You know, we have decent weather and decent climate, decent geography. It really is a beautiful state where you can go skiing and then hit the beach and then go to Disneyland all in the same day. But, or Magic Mountain or one of the other, entertainment places. But even so, man, it's expensive to live here. Really, every year you have to be tested on cutting hair or polishing fingernails. Really. Well, you see, the people who teach those classes and proctor those exams have a good lobby to keep the law the way they want it. Oh, yeah. Well, I have, after cleaning it up as much as possible, I have 80,000 emails. I really need to get rid of a whole bunch. Oh, I can opt out of Facebook notifications. I'll look into that. What I did was I made a separate email and told Facebook to send the notifications there. And I'll get 20 or even 50 in a day, but I just delete them all. Yeah, well, it goes back to 2008. So that's, let's see, 16 years, 80,000 emails. All right, I'm not going to try to do that in my head. 80000 calculator divided by 16. That's 5,000 emails a year. That's still a lot. But a ton of it really is Facebook notices. Your friend so and so posted, so and so tagged you, so and so commented. I'm like, geez. Oh, man. At least YouTube doesn't swamp me with notices. But I might have to turn off notifications if it does get to be a problem from YouTube. I'll have to figure out how to do that. But Facebook, oh my. Between 20 and 50 a day. Ugh. My coffee gets cold too fast because it isn't very warm in the house. Oh. Ah. So I can do settings in YouTube and all right. I'll do that. What's next? Thanks for the advice. Well, to be fair, I also get or have been deleting things from non-Facebook and non-YouTube message boards and things like that I used to belong to. Most of them don't exist anymore. Like I was around 2010, I was supplementing my income by writing articles for several websites that paid. And I guess they found out they can get people to do that for free on those sites where you review products and services. But anyway, they went out of business or just quit paying. Oh, Ivy, I don't like to microwave my coffee or anything else. Yes, Facebook settings. Thank you. What's next? Go into settings and scroll down to preferences and tap notifications. Excellent. Meanwhile, I'm deleting Facebook notifications. I think at this point I'm up to 2010, having deleted the really old ones. Um, I'm deleting things from eByline and ePinions and something news. forget what it is. Places where I used to make a few bucks every month when I really needed the extra money. And they are all gone with the wind. Oh, yes, happy late New Year. I have another 15 years of crap to delete, huh? Well, I've started going from the newest emails back because there was a period in Snowmageddon when I had so little internet connection. I could, between like midnight and 2 a.m. was all, 2 hours late at night was the only time I could get email at all because Verizon prioritized, instead of adding a new tower or beefing up the towers they have, they just said, okay, the sheriffs and the fire department need the internet, so you don't get any. So there were lots of emails I never even looked at in 2023, late February and early March. And I just never caught up. And then I began to discover that I had been very lax. I had failed to go through emails for several years, but not as bad as that period in Snowmageddon. They don't stop sending you emails just because you can't get online and look at them. And I think I've gone backward to 2000, either 18 or 19. And most of it is Facebook messages. Jeez. And I'm also going after emails that have attachments. They take a lot more space than just an email. Like people will send me photos of their house or their cat or their dog, and I probably have it either on my hard drive or on a memory stick. And if I don't, I download it and then delete the email with the attachment. And some photos I don't even need to keep. And since it's from like 2010, why am I keeping it? Oh, come on. It went out. Evil cigarette. Still don't see Freeman. And I told him twice I was coming on at 7. Let's check my phone. Which one is Freeman? I've been on for an hour. Oh, come on. I hate this. I have to tap one letter at a time, and I can't hit the right letter. This is one of the times that I appreciate the whatever it is that you type one letter and it finishes the word for you. I appreciate it when it gets it right. I don't know, Etsequendia. I don't trust personal assistants unless they drive. I always need someone to drive me somewhere. Our bus service is not good. It might get you to where you're going, but not at the time that you need to be there. And then you wait up to an hour for the next bus to come home. You know, their excuse is mountain roads. Well, that doesn't explain why. Let's see, on the way up to our local hospital and medical clinic, you get off in Lake Arrowhead and almost immediately grab the bus to the hospital and the clinic. Coming back, you get off at Lake Arrowhead next to Stater Brothers Market and you wait an hour or more for the next bus to get you back home. And I don't know about you, but I don't spend that much time shopping for a few groceries. And I can't buy too much because I have to carry it home. And the bus doesn't stop that close to my house. I have to carry it. And besides, after waiting an hour for the next bus, the ice cream is melted. Wow. I'm still kind of shocked there was no noise at all on New Year's Eve. Midnight rolled around, nothing. The only noise was my heater going boom. Oh, wow. I'm shivering. Those little heaters can only do so much when it's really cold. Yeah, I had to give up my bicycle. My doctor said I was not safe riding it anymore. And he didn't want me to fall down and break a bone. And I had to agree with him. But the bicycle, which was a nice one, went to someone who really needed it. Oh, well, our bus drivers are pretty darn nice around here. Sometimes they'll even help you. If you have an armful of groceries, they'll grab it and get it onto the seat in the bus so you can get on without, you know, risking injury to get up on the bus with an armload of stuff. I've never tried bringing a cart onto the bus. I did bring a suitcase that had to go in the back of the bus. It wouldn't fit between the seats. I don't think a mobility scooter is quite my speed. If I had the money, I'd get one of those street legal golf carts or those cute mini cars. I can drive in the daytime. I can't see well enough at night. And all I really need to do is go 1 mile to the grocery store. Everything else is on the way, the bank, the post office, etc. And a couple local restaurants. Well, our bus drivers are local mountain people. They understand. We actually help each other. Some people hold the door for me, and sometimes I hold the door for someone else. And when we're in a narrow walkway, I'll get out of the way and let people pass me because I'm slow, especially compared to a teenager or a 20-year-old, a 20 something. It's really, really nice to have a good community. There are a few bad apples, but we know who they are. Hi, Ditch. Welcome in. Just shivering and shaking in beautiful downtown Crestline. I get a new heater in the morning so the house won't be as cold. Right now, I've got 2 fan heaters going, little electric things. They aren't adequate, really, but hey, I'm not going to freeze to death. And in the morning, I'll simmer a big pot of water on the stove to warm the kitchen. Meanwhile, the bathroom faucet is dripping on purpose so the pipe won't freeze. Oh, I get 1 or 2 kitties snuggling, but then Smoky Sue will, oh, she knows her name. Here she comes. She will hop on me and just wiggle and walk around and pester me and rub against my face. I hate cat hair in my face because she wants attention and I'm trying to sleep. Okay, yeah, I know you heard your name, therefore you get treats. Okay, here you go. And here's some for Tutu. She heard the treat canister. I'll put some down for Tora in case she wants it. I think 3C is outside. I haven't seen her today. Sweetie isn't bothering to come out of her favorite window to get treats. She says, heck, I can get treats anytime. Got Mom wrapped around my little claw. Oh well, hour and 20. And I am getting really sleepy. It's only 8:27, not quite 8:30. Okay, the thing about sitting here drinking my coffee and water is I've got to go to the bathroom. But I'll be back real quick, so don't go away. Yes, kitty cat, you're cute. Tutu. Dum-de-dum. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Boy. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Out of habit, pause in front of the heater because the bathroom is cold. Well, the heater's cold too. Well, guys, I'm about done. Unless you want to talk about New Orleans on. Oh, come on, I knew the street name a minute ago. Or the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. The guy came and looked at my heater this morning. It cannot be repaired. It will be replaced in the morning. Bourbon Street. Thank you, Wita. He had to order a new one. He'll pick it up in the morning, and it's the last one at the warehouse where he buys them. He'll pick it up in the morning, bring it here, and install it. Yeah, Jiffy Scuffler. That must be a British phrase. I've never heard it before. Let's look that up. Ah, the bright white light of the search page hit my eyes wrong. Jiffy Scuffler. It's a original hat steamer model. It steams your hat. Boy. And that's the only. The J1 is used to block, stretch, crease, shrink, or shape straw hats and felt hats. Okay. Yeah. Oh, a crack in space. Phil used that phrase, in a crack in space. Well, apparently it's for refreshing your hat or making a hat. So there. Here. Um, I'll show you. There's only one search result for Jiffy Scuffler. Let's see. Well, and it doesn't include the word scuffler. So maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, well, it used to be that everybody wore a hat. Now it's becoming quite rare. Sometimes I wear a hat just because I think it's cool, or to keep the sun off my head in the summer. I was just thinking, ordinarily we get a heat wave in late October and early November. It'll even get up to like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is quite warm. Didn't happen this year. It just stayed cold. And like once a week it would rain. So I'd be working outdoors even though it was cold, but I had to cover everything up in case the rain was coming again. Well, I'm wearing, of course, the warm, uh, well, it's a snow hat. There's a word for this kind of hat. It's, it isn't wool, it's synthetic, but yeah, I do have nice scarves that I could put around my neck, but I have this thing that it's similar to a scarf made out of terry cloth, and it has little bean bags that you can put in it. Heat them up in the microwave if you want. It gives my neck extra support when I'm sleeping, but it bugs me when I'm up and about, so I take it off. Mm, wow. So it's almost an hour and a half. And after Freeman begged me to come on tonight, he isn't here. Shame on him. I hope he's okay. Oh, Ditch talked to him. Okay. Anyway, in the morning I will have a heater. Knock on wood. Pray that everything goes right and the heater arrives and it works. One more cigarette, because when I get off this live stream, I'll probably snuggle up under the blankets and try to go to sleep. Lots of garlic, Witta. Yeah, I do eat lots of garlic and onions. Onions can keep you healthy too. And I love a onion that's either um, can't think of the word. You put them in a frying pan with oil and get them all brown, or a whole onion wrapped up in foil and baked in the oven. And they're really good with a little molasses on them. Onions do get sweet when they're cooked, but you gotta do them on low heat in the frying pan so you don't burn them. Although I kind of like to have a couple of them burned. Variety of flavor. Oh yeah, onions and peppers. One of the quick meals I make for myself, I fry up some slices of onions and bell peppers and toss in whatever kind of meat I've got handy, usually chicken. Wrap it in a tortilla and with some sour cream. I call it fajitas, but it isn't really. But that's okay. Oh, and some grated cheese, whatever cheese I've got. And if I have an avocado, that's like heaven. And of course, since I never seem to have fresh garlic when I want it, I use either garlic powder or garlic salt. I did recently buy a jar of garlic. Let me see if I can find it because I don't remember what it's called. Cats, don't bother me. Uh, Remedy. No, no joy in Mudville tonight. Oh, I remembered. Good, because I couldn't find it. Granulated garlic. It's just little bits of actual garlic that's dried and put in a jar. Wow. Yeah. Polar explorers in Antarctica. Yeah. Lots of vitamins and supplements. Yeah, I think Shackleton with his vitamins would make a good commercial. Well, I have so many supplements, I do not take them all at once. I take a multiple vitamin and one or two of the other things. And then the next day, I take the multiple vitamin and one or two different things. But in winter, I try to take D3 or at least cod liver oil every day. Ew, ditch protein powder and minced garlic together? Well, it depends on what flavor your protein powder is. One thing I like to do, since I love milk anyway, cow's milk, and I can still digest it, I get chocolate malt flavor Ovaltine. It has some vitamins and it's chocolate. Oh, spicy hot VH juice. I can't tolerate hot peppers. They burn my mouth, they burn my tummy, and they burn coming out the other end. Once in a while, I like some V8 juice. When I was younger, I despised it. Couldn't understand how mom could drink tomato juice. It was cheaper than V8, and that's what V8 kind of tastes like. But I like it now, just not all the time, just once in a while. Something's poking me. You know what's really getting to me? Sitting on the heating pad, which, by the way, turned itself off again. My right leg still has a titanium rod that they put in when I broke that bone. Well, it holds the heat. So I have to adjust my position on the heating pad so my right leg and hip don't get too hot. Yeah, you're right. What's next? V8 does have the aftertaste of a tin can, but I get the tiny can of V8, chug it down, and then have a glass of water, and then top it off with coffee to wash out the flavor. Darn thing went out again. I guess that's better than having the ashtray smoke it. Mm. Oh, food. A couple days ago, and I probably talked about this before, but I had the nerve to cut a chicken breast into bite-sized chunks and fry it up and slather teriyaki sauce on it. The cats insisted that was their chicken and I had no right to eat it. And they didn't even seem to mind the teriyaki sauce when they devoured the bites I gave them. Oh, pot pies? I love pot pies, especially chicken. I don't make them, I just buy them at the frozen food section. Yeah. Well, I'll try to stay warm, Ditch. Won't be easy until my heater arrives. Well, if you had a cook like my mother, you would have loved something you'd throw in the oven, something frozen that you just heat up in the oven, untouched by mom's cooking skills. For example, she would, fry up some crumbled hamburger, throw in a bunch of tomato sauce and noodles, and then add the diced onion. So the onion was boiled. You're supposed to fry the onion just enough to get it translucent before you add the other stuff. And I don't know how many times we had hamburger with tomato sauce and noodles and boiled onions. I actually learned to, if not like it, at least tolerate it. And her other favorite was canned tuna in a white sauce, but she didn't make the white sauce right. She'd just throw the canned tuna into the pan, pour in some milk, and then add flour. And once it was cooked and hot, then she might or might not toss some butter into it. And yet, those were not the worst things she made. For example, cabbage. If you slice up the cabbage and toss it into some chicken broth or or if you're a vegetarian, vegetable broth, and just cook it a few minutes. Awesome. No, she put the cabbage in the pressure cooker for 45 minutes. It came out like rubber, and it wasn't sliced, it was just cut into wedges. Hugh. Oh, barbecue is the sauce of choice. Now you guys since you guys made me read the label on Sweet Baby Ray's, I'm in shock. It's almost all sugar, but I love it anyway. Now, when I make a crumbled hamburger, I like to, first get the onions kind of translucent and soft and sweet, and then cook the crumbled hamburger. And no, this is backward from making a white sauce, but it works. You scatter some flour over the hamburger and stir it in real good. Then add a pat of butter and stir that in real good and slowly pour in milk or cream until you have nice creamed hamburger. Then I make a slice of toast and put more butter on the toast. Big blob of butter in the middle of it, and pour the hamburger gravy over it. Oh, heaven. Mom never made that for us, and it was so easy. Oh, Etsequentia will not stand for cruelty to vegetables. Oh, she'd fill the pot with water, put in wedges of cabbage and a couple short ribs. No, maybe some salt and pepper. Maybe. Not always. She didn't always bother. No real flavor. And serve it to us as soup. And the so called broth was pretty flavorless. It was just grease from the fat on the short ribs. A little flavor from the cabbage, not much. But 45 minutes in a pressure cooker? Ugh! Was like eating the rubber inner tubes that tires used to have. Oh, yeah. Cabbage soup, inventive goldfish says. When they were really doing poorly financially, they'd add a gumbo mix or other random frozen vegetables and season it, at least with salt and pepper. Oh, if you had it. Yeah, but we were not as broke as Mom made us out to be. She was selfish. While we were at school, she would go to a restaurant for lunch and then serve us cabbage soup. Oh, yeah, thank God for food banks. The prices of food here are so outrageous. I really need them. But once in a while, they give us something that's spoiled. The worst one was a bag of frozen fish. They must have been thawed out and refrozen because they stunk to high heaven. I didn't even try to cook them, I threw them in the trash. Oh, yeah, pancakes. Problem is, you kind of need eggs to make pancakes, and eggs have gone through the roof in price. And with the bird flu, I'm sure it's getting worse every day. Because when the chickens get the bird flu, they have to be sacrificed. And you can't even sell them for their meat. Well, I don't know, goldfish. I think bicycles probably do still have inner tubes. I haven't thought about that in ages. Yeah, I've noticed that when we get bread from the food bank, it's either expired or about to expire. But as long as it hasn't gone moldy, you can make toast with it. Yeah, what's next? I sometimes get the complete pancake mix, but I still add milk, and if I have an egg, I add that. My favorite pancakes are almost crepes. The real pronunciation is crepes, but most people in America anyway call them crepes. Very thin, eggy pancakes. Yeah, and like they'll give us donuts that are stale, but they're still edible. Got to dip them in hot coffee to make them soft again. Ew, poor Witta got really bad food from the food bank. And then you have to do the work of tossing it out. Well, I was going to sign off and go to sleep, but now I'm talking about food and I'm waking up. Today I've been eating Colby Jack cheese. Ordinarily, I get a brick of cheddar and a brick of Jack cheese, but I thought, well, if I get the Colby Jack, I only have to buy one. So I did it. I like it melted on toast, but I haven't uh, cleaned the frying pan lately. I like to make it in the frying pan. The bottom of the bread turns black, but I like that flavor of burned bread, and it's charcoal, which is good for digestion. So why not? Oh, oh, you ate one, Witta? Well, Mom used to say about such things, oh, extra protein. Ew. Well, I quit eating Raisin Bran cereal because in our household, what we did was we'd pour a bowl of Wheaties and then add raisins. And one morning, the raisins had worms in them. And I had already poured in the milk, and I'm looking at these things wiggling around. It kind of turned me off to Raisin Bran. Oh, God. But mostly what I get from the USDA food bank is rice, dried beans, pasta, and some canned food. They're the ones who gave me the collard greens. I've been thinking I ought to try collard greens if they have them in the produce section, but these came in a can, and I've been told they're inferior. But I get to try boiling a turnip and adding the collard greens and some bacon. That'll be interesting. I haven't seen worms and raisins before or since that incident. But when they're giving away raisins, they're so old that they're dried out. You have to soak them for a couple hours to plump them up. Yeah, there's some kind of fish the Swedish actually like. It's fermented, not actually rotten, but fermented. Uh, I fail to see the difference. I did try pickled herring once, but it was too weird eating fish that tasted like a pickle. The texture was all wrong. And I love pickles, but not pickled fish. Uh, well, there's people who bury an egg for a year or two and dig it up and eat it. Why not a shark? Well, I do make, I do put raisins in carrot cake and fruit cake and banana bread, stuff like that. Somehow, if I'm at home and I know they're good raisins and I'm cooking it, it makes a difference. Plus, I'm not just eating a raisin, it's in a nice cake. Inventive goldfish, it's something in China. They call them 1,000-year eggs. They are not really 1,000 years old, but they bury them in, I think it's lime, a mineral that stops spoiling. It's supposed to be a real delicacy. We're not supposed to eat sharks here, they're endangered. But in Sweden, I guess they can eat sharks. But why bury them? They're, I've had shark once in my life, and they're a really nice, tasty meat. Just get them fresh and cook them properly. Sweden, at Sequendia, it's a Swedish thing to bury a shark. I think that's what Witta said. Oh, maybe it's Japanese. I don't know. Iceland? Iceland. Okay. Shark fin soup. Yeah, that's what led so many fishermen in Asia to just grab a shark, cut off its fin, and toss the rest of the shark back in the ocean. Oh, what's next? I don't believe there could be worms in Rice Krispies. I don't think worms eat Rice Krispies. I think your brother was lying to you, tricking you. Now, when I was a kid, Mom would, like in the around 1960, cod was cheap. She'd wait till the codfish was on sale and really cheap, but she had to tell us that it was shark because Dad would not eat cod. He loved it when she called it shark, but his mother had made him take a spoonful of cod liver oil every day when he was growing up, and he associated the word cod with that awful oil. Now, I take cod liver oil, but it's in a gelatin capsule. I don't have to taste it. Weevil larvae? Oh, the little bugs that eat flour? That's possible. What's next? But I don't think they really look like worms. Once in a while, I get the orphan produce. They take the stuff that's the wrong shape or discolored a little, or even lettuce that's about to go bad, and put a variety in a bag and sell it super cheap because otherwise they have to throw it out. I've scored some really good stuff once in a while. The bugs that infested hardtack were worms, and sometimes the sailors out on the ocean would eat them anyway. You couldn't just eat hardtack, by the way, you had to soak it in a hot liquid, because it really was as hard as a rock. Well, Dad didn't mind fish, it was just cod he couldn't stomach. So Mom would call it shark steak. I really like cod. It's a good fish, but it's gotten super expensive because it's been overfished. So there's limits on how many they can catch. IB has flan and chips. Oh, cod is good. Flan and chips. Okay, I get it. Angus's uncle was afraid of fish, and Etsy Quenty, his father, can't even touch fish or stand their smell. Wow. I've been craving fish. I was even tempted to go to McDonald's and get a fillet of fish, but the line was so long I said, oh, forget it. Because a friend was driving me and she really didn't have that kind of time. Speaking of fish, I'd like to get one of those wall plaques that has like a plastic fish on it, and it has batteries, and you flip the switch, and it sings like Elvis Presley. Yeah, well, the fish in a fillet of fish used to be cod many moons ago, but now it's pollock. And every brand of frozen fish sticks and fish fillets that I find at the grocery store is pollock, not cod. Oh, and the ultimate fish for me anyway is halibut. But it's even more rare and more expensive than cod. IB has grown to like octopus. I refuse to even try octopus. There are very few foods that I will not try. I even tried sea urchin once. Ooh, it's slimy. The flavor's good, but I can't get past the slimy texture. Yes, Angus, the plastic fish will sing and flop. They make octopus tacos? Well, the octopus is a very intelligent animal. I'm sure it tastes good, but I ate squid once at the sushi bar. A good sushi bar, where they aren't just throwing crap together and calling it sushi. Yeah, urchin is nasty. I don't eat oysters at all. Certainly not raw. I've had oyster. I can't remember where or when, but I know I've had oyster, and it's like, I prefer clams. Okay, Angus, people get sick from raw oysters? Yeah, raw oyster can make you deathly ill. The oyster I had was cooked. Oh, the singing fish, Etsy Quintius says. The singing fish guest starred in an episode of Sopranos. Oh, an allergy to soy sauce, that'll do it for you, Angus. What's next says octopus is too hard to chew. The other thing is, they're not just raw, the oysters are still alive. And as Phil pointed out to me once, if you don't swallow it quick, it could start wiggling because it got warm in your mouth and it could choke you. Oh, I haven't had sushi in a couple decades. I did have Panda Express back in December. Their orange chicken. They sort of invented it. There's a traditional recipe for lemon chicken, and they just use oranges instead of lemons. But it's darn good. Angus says General Tso's chicken is orange chicken, but I think General Tso's, I'm sorry. General Tso's chicken, if I remember correctly, has a lot of hot peppers in it. Panda Express doesn't do that. Angus loves lemon chicken. Apparently, the General Tso's chicken was made for General Tso, not by General Tso. Ah, there's a substitute for soy sauce, made called coconut amino. Well, I like soy sauce. Rice and mashed potatoes. I'm with you at Sequentia. And now that there's this thing called Better Than Bouillon, I can make mashed potatoes and gravy without having to cook a whole chicken or a pot roast. Well, today I had the last of the cottage cheese, except for the cottage cheese tax that the cats demand. They don't want the peaches. I wish I had some fresh peaches, but oh well. Peaches or nectarines. Oh well. Can't have everything. Well, they say that cats cannot taste sweet, but I've noticed cats that like milk, there are some that love milk. If you put two bowls side by side and one bowl of milk has sugar and the other does not, they'll go right for the one with sugar in it. They must at least have some sense that there's more calories in the sweetened milk. But yeah, they don't go after my candy bars. They might sniff them, but they don't want them. Anyway, it really is time to get it going. It's 9:15. Yeah, that's right, Angus. Sugar is a nutrient. They, of course, have no interest in the sugar bowl. Well, hi, sweetie. All right. It's time to get a bag of treats because Sweetie has been deprived. Okay, here's your treats. Here's a couple for Tutu, and a couple for Smoky Sue, and a couple for Tora. Yeah, 3C must be outside. Oh, Tutu is too lazy to get up and eat her treats. She wants them placed beside her face. Lazy cat. I'm going to have to make her move, though. She's on my blankets. I guess I might spend a little time watching more videos about all the brouhaha that's going on. Tora, yeah, she's kind of old. I got her the year I broke my hip, 2020. So she's 4 years, well, yeah, close to 4 years old. Let's see. Oh, 4.5, excuse me. It's January. What happened to 2024? It's all gone. Anyway, apparently there's all kinds of scheming to avoid certifying the election and avoid um, in what do they call it? Inaugurating Trump. Uh, yeah, you can't see Tora. There she is. Hey, you. Look at the camera, Tora. Pretty kitty. She says, I don't like this. I don't want to. Anyway, I suppose I will catch a couple short YouTube videos about the stuff going on. Yeah. Smokey Sue, you're a brat bully. A bully brat. Let's see if we can see her. There she is. She kicked Tora off of her penthouse. And now Tora demands treats because she was on camera. I pointed a camera at her. That means she gets treats. All right, okay. Will you hold still? I can't just follow you everywhere. There, here. All right, Tutu. Tora gets 4 or 5, and the others get 2 treats each. Oh, Sweetie's on the other penthouse. Here, kid. I wonder if I can see her. Do you have enough light, Sweetie? That's Sweetie. Yes. Black cats in the dark are invisible. Okay, I better close the show. Yes, I'm ready for my close-up too, Mr. DeMille. Kitties. Okay, let's try Tutu before I sign off. I think she's got light on her. No. Yeah, if I move so my shadow isn't up. See, she's got her gray and white tuxedo on crooked. Sweet kitty. That's actually her body that looks black. She isn't under anything. Well, maybe it's the angle of the camera showing the arm of the chair. Yes, kitty kisses. Okay, Tutu. All right. So hang in there and think. Gotta move things around so I can get to the keyboard. Okay, thank you all and stay warm. All right. Typo, of course. See ya. Yes, hydrated. I always have water, not just coffee. I also have water. Bye.